IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Made in India, hosted by May Thomas, where she brings exclusive acoustic sessions and interviews with the best independent musicians in India.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome guys to a brand new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast. Chiranjeev is joining me, and he seems to be on a roll because he's enjoying the match that's currently at the time of recording is going on between Bengaluru FC, who is now playing in the ISL, and they're playing East Bengal, who are currently sticking to I-League. We talked about this, that lots of crisscross happening, the I-League teams playing ISL teams, and just the preparation for the upcoming season that will be starting simultaneously. Chiranjeev, what news have we got from Kantirva?
This is a total banter friendly, man, because this is, I mean, obviously this is a closed door match. We were not told anything about this match, and it does not really matter that much, other than it has a great banter value of an ISL team and an I-League team playing each other in a match. So yeah, that's what is happening. You every time see. I understand this match does not really mean anything. I understand it's not happening in a conventional format, which we were not told, by the way. Like they kept it all secret. Like it's happening in 30-minute periods. Okay, it's not 45 minutes, 45 minutes. And in every period,
what is it? ISL format?
Yeah, it's probably the ISL format of the future.
Just to have the foreigners get acquainted to the climate, you give them breaks every 30 minutes.
Yeah. So it's many different reasons, because the coaches want to test out all the players possible, so they are actually starting different squads altogether in each period. And right now, at the time of the recording, the third period is underway. The score line is 1-1. So a lot of funny shit is happening around this one friendly. So earlier, Charles for East Bengal scored in the 10 minutes into the game, and obviously the banter started that like the prevailing it's very misguided, but prevailing idea is that ISL teams are always way better than I-League teams. Like that's what you would hear ISL fans say. Like if we play I-League teams, we will beat them like 8-0, 9-0, and we will win in AFC Champions League. All sorts of cuckoo stuff that goes around. But even if you are matching them up in a friendly match, it's the quality is not that different, because it just seems different because ISL teams have always played like have 10 foreigners in the squad, and they have been just the way Star Sports portrays the league, it looks much better on television. That's what gives you the idea that they got much better skills, because you can see it better on TV. That's what makes you think like that. So yeah, it's happening. The way we are sort of getting updates about this match is that some East Bengal fans have snuck in, and they're like just watching this from an angle somewhere, like from a very awkward angle, and they're posting updates from time to time. But it's like, dude, it started off, and right now it's 1-1. So what happened after the second period is that they were not told that this is a 3-period match. So after the second period, everybody thought, okay, two halves are over, so the match must be over. Yeah. So they started posting, East Bengal won 1-0 and everything, and we having no first-hand information because none of the clubs are talking about it. We also posted that information on Twitter. We said, so 1-0, East Bengal has won. Charles scored the goal. And then the Bengaluru FC Twitter handle for the first time became active about this match. And they said no, it's a 3-minute, in a 3-period match of 30 minutes. and you should not use second-hand updates.
But then
look,
what do we do when we do not have permission to cover or even get updates from the club itself?
Yeah,
You will have to rely on some information.
They banned the first-hand updates in the first place. They could have at least, like, before the start of the match, they usually live tweet all their matches. They should have just said, like, okay, this is going to be like, ऐसे खेल रहे हैं हम लोग, बच्चा, 3 periods of 30 minutes. Then there would have been no confusion about anything. But even that information they wanted to keep to themselves. So obviously, second-hand information will lead to stuff like this. So it's happening now. Miku has scored apparently, because we're not getting to see it. We're just looking at updates that some people are posting from there. It's 1-1 at the moment. By the end of this episode, we will probably have a full-time update for you guys. So that's what is happening. The first of the banter friendlies. If this is how it's going to be, this day after tomorrow, there's another banter friendly. It's Bengaluru versus East Bengal. Then we have East Bengal and Mohun Bagan going to Goa. Then they will go to Pune. They will play Jamshedpur FC in Kolkata. We're going to have a lot of banter going into the I-League and ISL seasons.
Yeah. That's there, and only if we get some official updates, we will share. And let's hope we get to know about something about the match from the clubs themselves. That'll just help us gauge, what exactly are the teams preparing and what are they heading into the pre-season with. So it just helps us to understand if there are any injuries, if there's some players, even if they are to their best fitness. So we will get you updates as and when we get the official statuses.
By the way, one thing that we know is that the entire mostly East Bengal were playing Indian players in the first 2 periods. Okay, and that was when Charles scored and they took the lead. Second period also, it was mostly Indian players. In the third period, East Bengal have put in all their foreign players. So, and that's when they conceded the goal. They BFC equalized. So imagine the idea that the best Indian players have gone to ISL and the Indian players that are left in I-League are completely of a very different lower class or lower quality. I don't think that idea is going to hold through, as the season gets underway. I'm pretty sure the pool of talent is way bigger than we get to see in the top division and ISL. And because ISL and I-League were happening at different times and, the same players were playing in both leagues, it was actually stopping from other players who were equally talented to get a platform to show themselves to the wider audience. And I think this season that's going to happen. If something good is coming out of this season in the I-League ISL scenario, it's this, that a lot of new stars will be born. And this is just the beginning of this.
Yeah. So that's the update from the banter friendlies, as Chiranjit has put it. So,
and by the way, breaking news on TFG Football Podcast. But I know it's going to be a few hours afterwards when you listen to this. Full time 1-1. It has ended in a draw. Okay, they both the teams played all their major players, back and forth. They were allowed unlimited substitutions. They tried different combinations and sets. From what we are hearing, Bengaluru FC played the last 2 periods on a more attacking note. The second period, they were especially attacking, but they could not score. Then the third period, they managed to score 1 goal. But at the end of the day, it's 1-1. Draw.
Yeah. So heading in to the ongoing FIFA Under-17 World Cup, now that we've reached the semi-final stage and the last 4 games remaining out of the 52 games that were planned for this World Cup. So the news is, Chiranjit, what is the happening news that Kochi is where Brazil and Spain were pitted in the group together, and was it their favorite place to play there, and was it something that Brazil made a hue and cry about?
Well, this is coming from a few newspapers who wrote bits and pieces of information about this. How it's not every day that you move a World Cup game from one place to another. Okay, it's like like it's big, dude. It's a World Cup semi-final. Doesn't matter if it's under 17. It's one of the major events of the year. So yeah, for FIFA moving it to another state, and it's like it's a long way from Guwahati to Kolkata, man. It's like you have the country of Bangladesh between these two cities. So it was not easy, and it did not go the most smooth way. But here's what happened. Here's what we have heard from, again, second-hand information. Bengaluru FC and Kunal Majgaonkar will be angry at us even more now. So second-hand information, this is what happened. Both teams reached Guwahati. It was still raining. The weather was not improving. And they looked at the stadium pitch. They looked at the training facilities. They said, this is not going to happen. We're not going to play here. Even Mali and Ghana coaches had criticized the facilities very heavily because the conditions were almost unplayable, and it was leading to players slipping and falling, and one player got injured and had to be rushed to the hospital, and many believed that it was due to the slippery nature of the pitch. Brazil and England said, like, what, we don't want to commit suicide by playing here. So they said, move it elsewhere. FIFA told them, okay, if you don't want to play, since both teams don't want to play, let's move it to Mumbai because the other match is already happening there. So you don't have to do anything extra. You just get to, you just put it there, and all the security arrangements, all the police presence, everything is in place. So it won't be that much of a difficult task. So England were okay with it. They said, oh, yeah, we'll go to Mumbai. But Brazil just wanted to play in Kolkata because they had got a taste of Kolkata in the quarterfinal when they played against Germany. And they were going gaga over how much support this was. And in the press conference, Salt Lake Stadium was even compared with Maracana, people were just going crazy, especially the Brazil team players and the Brazil coach. They were just aghast at how much support they could get this far away from home. Like, this is India, this is South Asia, and from Latin America, so far away. I don't know if they have ever experienced another country's population just coming out and supporting them like this. So they said, look, the final is going to be in Kolkata anyway, and we don't want to travel too much. It's 3 hours by flight to Mumbai. It's just 1 hour to Kolkata. So save us all the trouble. We will just go to Kolkata and play. And after discussing, FIFA said, yeah, okay, let's do that. So yeah, and then you saw what craziness unfolded yesterday, and what kind of, like, how insane people went over the tickets. And it's still, the rush is still going on. People are lining up in front of the East Bengal Mohan Bagan and Mohammedan tents. They're lining up in front of the redemption areas in Milan Mela and Salt Lake Stadium. The redemption centers have this big signboard on top of them that only online ticket redemption, no cash sales. But there are like hundreds of people just waiting outside that counter, just hoping that they will pick up a ticket. Like, they have not purchased it online, but they still want a ticket. People have lost all sense of logic. They just want a ticket for this. So that's what is happening. It may be a record in FIFA's history for Under-17 World Cup that they sold out a game this fast. And it's going to be a big, crazy, full house crowd at 5 p.m. So tune in. This is going to be Kolkata at its best, turning up for a match on a few hours' notice. Because they love Brazil so much.
Yeah, that's there, and obviously the crowd has shown so much love and passion towards coming and watching the game, where one of the top teams and obviously one of the favourites to win the World Cup is playing. And we will get you updates on the match as it will be at 5 p.m. We will talk more about both these semi-finals, that is England playing Brazil and Mali playing Spain. On the other side of the break, we will now head on to a break. We'll catch you guys after the break.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
Welcome back after the break, and as we said, we will be talking more about the two semi-finals, starting with the 5 o'clock kickoff that's happening at, as we said, the Salt Lake Stadium at Kolkata, where Brazil will be playing England. That's the first kickoff at 5 p.m. Chiranjeev, what are your thoughts on this great matchup?
Yeah, of course. I do give Brazil a bit of an edge here. England are good. They're one of the best in Europe. But when Brazil played against Germany, we talked about this after the match. This showed why exactly, the Latin American way of football, especially in this early stages, sort of trumps the European style of playing a very mathematically correct way of team game. So yeah, individuality just flows through sometimes when you have a clash of this magnitude. And this Brazil team seems to be better able to handle themselves under pressure than most other teams, because Germany got the lead. And in the second half, Brazil came out fighting. And Germany just could not handle it after that. At the moment, the game became a bit unfamiliar for them. And once they conceded that first goal, they just completely lost it. There was no fight left in them. It was Brazil all over from them. So, yeah, England should not be compared directly with Brazil, but Germany. But Germany were not worse than England. Right? Did you think Germany were any worse than England?
No, it's a great matchup between both the teams. Both have the equal strengths, and both have the capability to judge their opponents and change the game accordingly.
Yeah, definitely. It's like and Brazil seem to be able to do this better than anybody else. Like you look at Ghana, they used their physicality throughout. Mali did the same. The African teams. German and England and even Spain, they're gonna play tonight later. I hope you're going to the game, Kevin. So it's they all have their own style of playing, but I have not seen anybody change their game according to the situation that presented itself in the game on such a short notice. Like a halftime talk did it all. So if England go with some pressing football, Brazil will drop down some midfielders and it will work out. If England just crowd out the midfield, Brazil have some brilliant wingers. They will be working the flanks and just basically overriding or avoiding that midfield. And if England play a defensive game, Brazil will, I think, just push forward their midfielders and hound them out. Basically, just Brazil have that. I'm just going to go over Brazil. You can tell that I want Brazil to win this, but Brazil have that ability to outman you at any part of the field.
Yeah.
No matter what your game plan is, the Brazil coach will just look at how you're playing in the first 20 minutes and then simply just put more men into the area that you are putting extra effort on. So yeah, that's it. Brazil are gonna evolve throughout the game. England will follow a very specific game plan, and this is why Brazil will win, because of their ability to evolve better with the situations.
Yeah. So yes, it's a great point that you made with Brazil. They are very dynamic in their approach, and not just the coach, not just someone from the outside can direct them. They themselves are able to understand the game so well, and make changes in the formation, and that's what makes them dangerous. And you look at the England side. Yes, they have scored a lot of goals, and also they've conceded very few, but that does not give you a statement where it's just that they're able to push forward all the time. Because when you're playing an attacking team, when you're playing a team that is so diverse in the wings, in the midfield, and even the back line, you have to change according to your opponent's gameplay. So that might be something that the England coach has put into the minds of the England players, that when you see an attack that is coming from emanating from different places, you need to adapt to that situation. That's the kind of difference between a top level side and somebody who's worked their way up the ladder in a very fluid manner. So there's the difference between a good England side that has progressed on the basis of scoring some great goals using the wings.
Yeah.
And Brazil, obviously, when we look at them, we know that tactics is the difference between the two teams, and how well you implement the tactics. We've already seen against Germany, that situation where they were already down 1 goal, and there was no way to beat that German midfield. That change of formation, that change of attitude, and the attacking mindedness of Brazilians, that worked in their favor. And that's what we will be seeing in this first semi-final. And it's not going to be as easy as we're expecting Brazil to take it, because England are here to make the best finish in over the years in these under-17 World Cup. And obviously Brazil is here for the kill. They've already won it thrice, and this just really looks one-sided affair. But then England are not as easy as anybody thinks of them.
Yeah, obviously that's. But I'm giving Brazil a 2-1 victory again.
Now,
Could be 3-1.
I won't be surprised if this goes to the penalties, and penalties is where England just took it away from the last time they had gone into the playoffs, into
That's
the penalty
not gonna
shootouts. But
That's not going to happen.
But yes, this is a great matchup. Obviously, we are giving Brazil the edge, seeing how dynamic they can be. But that's about it for the first semi-final that will be happening at the Salt Lake Stadium at 5 o'clock. We move our attention to the second semi-final, that's between Mali. They've been runner-ups in the last World Cup, that's the 2015 edition. They will be up against the European champions, Spain. Again, does it look like Spain are too strong for Mali, or is just the physicality of Mali that can create a havoc in the midfield of Spain?
Yeah, well, I expect Mali to play a very physical football. Okay, that's what they did. Mali were like they are not like the kind of team that will be just trying to be superior in skills and all sorts of other footballing classic methodology. They will push, they will shove, they will just block physically as much as they can. They will use their height advantage, play a lot of aerial balls. That's why they beat Ghana, by the way, because they are good in the air. There was suddenly, Ghana were the better team, actually. They had a better passing game, but you cannot have a passing game when the pitch is so wet and there's so much mud and water on the pitch that the ball is not moving. So Mali knew how to play, because I was watching it with my friends. We were bantering that this is Bangla football. References to some of the Calcutta Football League games, which happened in the middle of rainstorms and everything, and there would be a lot of water on the pitch. So you don't do anything. You know that the moment the ball comes to you, you're supposed to shoot it upwards. That's Bangla football. You just shoot it high and hope that some of your teammates gets to the ball. So yeah, that's what was happening. Two African teams were playing Bangla football in Guwahati that night, and Mali were better in the air, so they won the game. But that's what is a bit sad for them, is that this is happening in Mumbai. I don't know how the weather is over there. Do you think it's going to rain today?
It doesn't look like any chances of rains over here, but then there's again this point where Mali, who was pitted in this group which played most of the matches in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai for that matter, and Spain are accustomed to the heat in Kochi, but nothing like Navi Mumbai, because the weather seems to have cooled down a bit, not so much to the liking of the foreign teams, but then definitely to the liking of Mali. They've already seen the pitch. They've already got a feel of it in the group stages. So I think that's the kind of edge where Mali might just sneak in a goal.
Well, in terms of the heat, I think Mali would be better at able to adjust to it than Spain. So they're coming from a very different climate. But again, it was about whether or not we're going to see a shitload of rain tonight. If there is no rain, I think Spain will be able to better play their natural game, and this will completely catch Mali off guard. I don't really see Mali get through. If they do it, it will be like one of those, just think of one of those Stoke City versus Manchester United games where they just outplay the better team by being super physical, basically. One of those nights in Stoke, as they say. So yeah, that's what it's going to happen. Or if we're going to bring it down to Indian football, it's kind of like Bengaluru FC going up against Mumbai FC. One of those classic games at Cooperage.
Yeah.
Only this time it's happening at Navi Mumbai. That's what it feels like. Spain are the better team, but the way Mali can just screw around with the opponent team's game, you don't want to rule them out either.
No, Mali has got more goal poachers, that opportunistic strikers and midfielders. That's what that's unique about them. They don't have strikers who score. They have the midfielders who step up, and then that is difficult to mark. When you're expecting a strikers to make those goal poaching attempts, and you have a midfielder just runs up and just takes a wild shot and that goes in. That's the kind of game we're expecting.
You know what you made me realize just now? Mali is exactly like Mumbai FC would have been if Khalid Jamil had some more money to spend.
Wow.
It's exactly how it would have been. He would have just gotten a couple of good finishers up there, and then they would just nudge and shove their way up to like top 3 of the season. But the main reason I want to give Mali a chance tonight is because I saw the France versus Spain game. France were the better team. Obviously, Spain were not that far behind France either. But it seemed like, France were set to win this. They were playing for they were going into penalties, and you could see that Spain did not want that to happen. They needed it. They were not getting enough chances, and in the end, they got a lucky penalty, and that's why they're here.
Yeah.
Okay, they're here because of a lucky penalty. Had that gone into penalty shootouts, I have no doubt that France would have been playing today, and then we would have a very different scenario in our hands. But there's that nagging feeling that the best team is not out there. That Spain don't deserve it at the end of the day. So there can be some justice or karma happening, and some lucky things may go Mali's way. But then again, Mali also got lucky. It's actually like a bummer of a matchup, because Ghana and France would have been the proper match in the semi-final. But
I was hoping Ghana will go a long way in the tournament, but then that rain, just spoiled everything. Yeah, and let's hope the same rain does not play any spoil sport tonight, where both these teams will be playing at Navi Mumbai. So we're talking about Mali and Spain. That kicks off at 8 o'clock at Navi Mumbai D.Y. Patil Stadium. That will be preceded by the big game, England versus Brazil, at the Salt Lake Stadium in Kolkata. Great matchups tonight, and we will see who heads into the finals of the 2017 India Under-17 World Cup. So we will get you updates as and when we get to know about in developments prior to the game. If you're listening to us on YouTube, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what your predictions are, what you think about the matches tonight, and also about the friendlies that are going on, crisscross, I-League, ISL friendly preseason. And also download the IVM Podcast app, which is available on Android and iOS. Do not forget to also check out the other shows of IVM that's available on the podcast app. The podcast is also available on major podcasting apps like SoundCloud, iTunes, etc. We will catch you guys tomorrow with the reviews of both the semifinals. Till then, have a great day. Enjoy.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started atkt.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through atkt.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. atkt.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.